Hi friends. Hey, I'm Jules. I'm an architect. You know what? The first form of architecture is clothing. The second form of architecture is a tent. The third form of architecture are rocks or a gate. The fourth form of architecture, walls, boundaries. Okay, let's dial it back. Actually, scratch that. The only form of architecture is a boundary. You can call it what you like, a wall, a line in the sand, a hole in the ground, a pile of stones. Actually, it's all in your mind. It's a mental construct. Every single form of architecture is a line of thought. I'll give credit to Pascal Schoening, Professor Pascal Schoening, my professor, who was extremely enlightened. He stopped building architecture. He stopped building at the age of 20. He'd built so many buildings already, he stopped. He's one of the founders of the Green Movement in architecture in Germany, the grandson of Schinkel, and he was a filmmaker. He said to me, quoting Paul Virilio, "From now on, architecture is only a movie." And little did he know how true that would become. From now on, architecture is only a movie, Virilio said. And how true is that? Pascal said, a city is made up as much of memories and emotions as it is physical objects. In fact, he questioned the need for physicality. He asked the question, how little is it? How small is it? What's the minimal intervention you can make for the maximum impact? He said to me, yes, Juliet, be an architect, do architecture. And I thought that meant I had to build something. And maybe it does. I had to draw something. Draw a line of thought. He asked me to study Hiroshima. And he said, choose a second city. So I chose Tokyo. I went to Hiroshima and I went to Tokyo. He said, choose a site. Well, Hiroshima was after the bomb drop, so, okay, a site of erasure. He said, choose a second site. I chose Tokyo Bay Islands, which at the time was one of the biggest sites of erasure in Japan. It was where electronic waste was being dumped. All the electronic waste from around the world dumped to create new islands, new land. In fact, at the time that I chose was in the mid-90s when the economic bubble burst. Why did I choose Hiroshima and Tokyo? I mean, I was given Hiroshima. Why did I choose Tokyo? Good question. I compare the electronic bubble bursting, the economic bubble bursting in the mid-90s to be the equivalent of the dropping of the economic bomb. The land area is similar mass of erasure, same result. It looks more or less the same. And ironically, Tokyo at the time was selling graves on a timeshare basis. That meant land values were so high in Tokyo, you had to buy a timeshare for a grave. And yet, just minutes from the city were acres and acres and acres or hectares of empty space. It's a paradox. Tokyo Bay Islands, Hiroshima. I'm interested in the economy. I was inspired by a writer, a French writer, Georges Bataille, who wrote a book called The Accursed Share. And I'll just leave that out there for you. And I'll take a step back right now and stop here with the thought. All architecture is simply a matter of thoughts. All the boundaries that we create between ourselves and other people, The majority of those boundaries are invisible. They're marked by light and sound and noise and material, ultimately matter. They are marked primarily by the thoughts we give to them, by the way we think and relate to other people, how we communicate. It's a popular phrase I hear often, time and time again. Set boundaries, Juliet. Look after yourself. What does it really mean? Have fun out there. COVID era friends. We're entering a new zone. Enjoy architecture and think about what it might be for you. Ciao. Peace out.